perhaps the Zillow or Trulia lead. You won't miss anything because we will be sending everybody who has registered a recording an hour or two after the webinar today. Everything you'll see today is public knowledge, which means feel free to take some screenshots. You can share it with our social media handles here. Also feel free to use social media to engage with us. You can ask us questions, send us ideas for new webinars, as well as simply share things that you find interesting and helpful. So that you have a kind of face to the voice here, my name is Alexa Hancock, and I work out of our Seattle office, our headquarters here at Zillow Group. And my role within the company as an account manager is I work directly with all of you, with agents, helping you utilize the tools we have available to you, both through one-on-one coaching, through events that I travel to across the country, as well as these webinars. And so I'm really excited, though, first of all, to introduce my co-presenter, Arman. Go ahead and kind of tell us about what you do for the company, Arman, and introduce yourself here.
Thanks, Alexa. My name is Arman Javaherian. I'm the Director of Product here at Zillow Group in San Francisco. So my teams basically are in charge of coming up with the product features and capabilities for our Premier Agent apps on iOS, Android, and the Premier Agent kind of desktop inbox experience that we have as well.
Yes, so you all can see he is kind of the vision and in charge of making all of these great features available to you. So really excited to have him here with us today. I'll let him do most of the speaking since he has probably most of the knowledge here. I want to quickly go over though what we can expect to go over today. First of all, before I get into that, I know that we have some on the phone who are Premier agents, those who advertise with us, who've already been using this app. We also have some people on the phone who aren't Premier agents. You're all welcome. Whether you have the app already and you've been using it, or if this is brand new to you, we'll try and share information that can be useful to all. But feel free to use that GoToWebinar panel to also ask us questions. We'll try and address them as they come in, or leave some time at the end as well to go over them. So today we'll briefly introduce the Premier Agent app for those who don't know it or use it already. We'll talk about some of our new lead management features. Really great tools for all of you today. Talk about tips for responding intelligently and efficiently to online leads. And then we'll get into kind of how to use the app to enhance your online Zillow profile and other features available to you. Then specifically, some of you on the phone are a part of a team. So we'll go into how you can engage with the app as a team as opposed to an individual agent. And then lastly, we'll simply wrap it up with some time to answer your questions. So briefly, let's talk about this app. For those who don't have it, make sure you download our Premier Agent app today. This is a standalone app built specifically for all of you, for agents. So it's separate from our Zillow and Trulia consumer apps. This app is free, and it's available to you in your iOS or for your iOS or Android devices. You can download it simply by searching in your Apple Store or your Google Play Store. Type in Premier Agent. Once you download this app, you'll also get an automatic upgrade to your online Zillow experience. We have this newer, better online inbox that's going to sync with this app and give you this one easy place to manage your entire Zillow account. Now, I do know sometimes the hardest thing of having these multiple different online accounts is the password. So it's easy to reset your password. This is going to be the password you use for your Zillow account. So the same email that you sign into online Zillow and that password. Feel free to go through the process of resetting your password. And if you still come across issues, on the screen in front of you, you will see the email for our kind of agent support team. Their email, just to read it aloud, is agentcare@zillow.com. Now, once you're into the app, I wanted to briefly share with you kind of what can you do with this app? What is the purpose? And the purpose is to be your one-stop shop to manage your entire Zillow and Trulia account. Within this Premier Agent app, you can respond immediately to contacts. And when I say immediately, I mean immediately. You can monitor your pipeline and kind of work with your clients long term with cultivating leads by kind of tracking the status of every lead. You can also manage your listings. You can manage your profile with client reviews. And then keep track of your listings and how they perform, as well as enhance them with our video walkthrough. So this app is really meant to be an all-in-one resource for all of you agents here today. Now, let's get into what's new. So we know one problem that a lot of you face is having lead sources in multiple different locations. Now, Arman, can you go into what new features are within this app that you built out to kind of help solve this problem?
Yeah, absolutely. So up until now, so the app is basically a year old, and up until now it's been very focused on giving you access to your Zillow and Trulia source leads. Now we've added new capabilities. We spent the last 3 to 4 months building all this out to give you the ability to actually pull in leads from Realtor.com, Homes.com, and right now 25 other sources, kind of like Market Leader, IDX Broker. There's a bunch of them here. We have a small sample list on this screen. We know that it's hard to manage everything in one place. We know that when we talk to agents, they have 8 different tools. Some people use the Google Doc. Other people have a CRM that they barely log into. It's kind of people use pen and paper, all different types of things. So our goal always here is to really make your lives easier so you can focus on working with your clients. And the more technology we can provide to help with that, we're doing our job from our perspective. So with the new capabilities, what you would do, and I think we can go to the next screen, Alexa. Once you download the app, it's actually very easy. You just go into the settings of the app, and when you go into the settings of the app, there's these kind of 2 different options. There's at the top, you see on the left, it says Connect Gmail Account. Now, why are we asking you to connect your Gmail account? Well, we found that the easiest way to get these other sources into the Premier Agent app is via Gmail. We know about 50% of our users have Gmail accounts. Gmail is something free that you can use and set up as well. And so the way this works is when you connect your Gmail account, we go and look at your Gmail, and we only pull in messages that are related to those lead sources. So for example, if a new lead comes in from Realtor.com, we can see it coming into your Gmail because you connected your Gmail account, and then we pull that lead into the Premier Agent app. Same with any of the other sources. And that lead comes in with the property information, with the contact information, with the message information, all automatically. We also have added a lot of privacy safeguards because we don't actually look at any other messages that are not for anything, not for any of those 28 lead sources or however many lead sources we support. So Google has this capability that lets us only see kind of the domain and the subject of messages, and we only pull in messages that are related to those lead sources. So some of you may be asking, well, what if I don't use Gmail, or if I don't want to use Gmail? Well, if you don't want to use Gmail, there's another solution as well. So you'll see here on the right, this is the lead sources screen, which you can get to also from the settings screen. And here it says, hey, you have ways to connect your lead sources. The first one is the Gmail one I talked about. The second one says, if you don't use Gmail, you can use your Premier Agent email address. So we give every user a Premier Agent email address. In this case, this is Lynette Lewis at premieragent.pro. And all you have to do is take that email address and put it on your Realtor.com profile, on your Homes.com profile, any of those places where lead notifications get sent. And once we can get those lead notifications, we'll pull them into the Premier Agent app just as if we're pulling it in for users that use Gmail. So anyone should be able to use this. You don't even have to be a paid Premier Agent. Theoretically, you could be a free agent, use this, and pull in leads from other sources and use all the free capabilities that we offer in the app, all the lead routing features that I'm going to get into a little bit later as well.
Awesome. Now, Arman, we had a couple questions that came in regarding this feature. And first of all, it's a little bit about privacy. When you import these leads from your Gmail or from our kind of email we give to agents, who can see the information? Is it just the agent? Do other people have access, and do we ever share their information externally?
Yeah, we never share anyone's information externally. The only people that have access to it are the same people that have access to kind of your inbox today. So our agent care reps, if you have your sales rep, your business consultant or your sales rep helping you, they're able to log in and help you with your inbox as well. We never share this information externally, and as I mentioned earlier, from a privacy perspective, we take privacy very seriously here. We don't even pull in any messages or any bodies of messages that are related to anything other than the lead sources that we support.
Awesome. And then one other question, what if you have multiple Gmail accounts? Is there one in particular that you should be using?
Good question. So we only support connecting one Gmail at a time. So I would suggest any lead notifications that you get from these sources, have them all go to that one Gmail account and then connect that one Gmail account. And then we'll be able to just pull them in from that one Gmail account. We don't have support for multiple. Most people only usually have one.
Got it. Okay, perfect.
One more thing I'll add, Alexa. One more thing I'll add.
Go ahead.
If I mentioned earlier that Gmail is free, so you could, if you wanted, a lot of people do this. They'll create a separate Gmail account, have all their leads from these other sources just sent to that Gmail account, and then they just connect that Gmail account. Especially people, if you're worried about privacy or anything like that, feel free to have that separate Gmail account. We took a lot of pain to make sure that our kind of infrastructure and security was such that no one is actually getting access to any of your messages. We only look at your lead sources.
Okay, great. And then one more detail to note. One question was, can you still add leads from external sources without connecting to this? And yes, you are able to add leads yourself manually if you have them from other sources without connecting to this. This is simply going to make your life much easier by being automatic, so you don't have to spend that time doing the simple data entry.
Correct. Yeah, this is more for the real-time leads that are coming in. If you have historical leads, you can manually add contacts. And later this year, we're going to build out a better import contact tool. We've gotten a lot of requests for that. The app is a year old. We've done a lot in the last year, and I think this year for us, we're really excited about what we can do to kind of shore up a lot of these additional features that people have been asking for. The benefit here, one of the reasons why we make this all free is because we want you as agents to know that this is your data. You always have it. We're not going to, it's not our data at all. It's your leads. So if you start paying us for advertising and you get leads in there and then you stop paying one day, you can still use the Premier Agent app. It's all your data is in there forever. So we take great pride in giving you access to that data and making sure that it's free. You can export the data whenever you want. We have on our desktop tool, we have an Excel export that you can use to pull all your contacts out whenever you want. So we're very transparent here on the Premier Agent side.
Awesome. So now once we've integrated the Gmail and integrated these different sources, let's dive into kind of how you can effectively manage these leads. Can Arman go into the different features within lead management tools?
Yeah, so within the app, we talked a little bit about the kind of getting the leads in there and from all the different sources and being able to reply. There's also a whole kind of contact section. So this is more like a traditional contact management capability. So within here, you can add statuses to the contacts. So right now we have new, hot, warm, cold, and sold, but we're in the process of actually updating all these. So it's much more aligned with like a full pipeline of statuses. So you can imagine kind of actively searching, listing, listing offers, and there's like I think 9 or 10 additional statuses that we're going to be adding to make it easier for you to properly categorize your contacts. Within here, you can easily search for contacts by name or email. You can review all the messages for those contacts. And additionally, we're going to be launching this new timestamp notes feature in the next probably early to late February. So right now, when you add notes, it's just one giant block of notes. We're going to let you now have timestamp notes so you can keep track of the client history when you added that information. That was one of our biggest feature requests as well from agents.
Awesome. Now, additionally, there's some new features that can help agents manage their pipeline and overall see kind of different lead categories. Can you talk about this a little bit for us?
Sure. Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that was missing in the app is just good reporting on your leads. And what I'm going to show you here is just the first version. We're already deep into the second version that we're testing out here on the development side. But this is basically accessible for every agent. You can go into the desktop or the mobile app and go to lead reporting. And here it tells you, are your leads coming from email, phone call, SMS? Are they for sale, seller? What are the property prices for the leads that are coming in, the leads that are coming in over time? And then it gives you quick access to your business consultant and the Zillow Help Center if you have any questions. Additionally, we're going to be adding a lot more kind of ROI specific type of calculations here. And the goal for us is always, we know based on our data that Premier Agent advertising really helps our agents be successful. But we know the biggest problem is, agents not knowing the actual ROI calculation that goes in there. So what is the return on their investment for the $1,000 a month they may spend? And so we're working really hard on adding that transparency so you can see clearly, hey, I had 1,000, contacts that are leads that came in, and X many were from here. I was, these were the property prices. I was able to respond to these. And eventually, as you can imagine, one of the benefits of the dot loop kind of partnership and acquisition is to let you actually see it from beginning to end. So hey, I got these 10 leads from Zillow, and the documents, I was able to close on 2 of them, and I can link back the close all the way to the lead. That's our end goal. No one's ever gotten there for anyone in the industry, so we're really excited to kind of be on the cusp of trying to get there.
Absolutely. I know your team, Arman, is working really hard based on feedback from all of you agents as to what you need for your business to make it more productive and smarter at times. So I'd love to see the updates here. Well, we can dive in.
One thing I'll add, Alexa, within the app and on desktop, there's a feedback link, and that feedback link directly comes to me and my team. So feel free. I encourage agents all the time when we're at the PA Forum, especially, just send your feedback, send your suggestions, send your ideas, send your concerns, send your problems. We respond to almost every single one, and whatever we can't take care of, we send to Agent Care to help. So please send us your suggestions. We really appreciate it.
And one question about this lead reporting for teams specifically. I know we'll get a little bit into more team features later in the webinar, but can everybody on a team see all of this information for a team's account, or is it simply like the team lead, for example?
So this is just for leads that went to the individual agent. For the team lead, we have a separate team reporting that we launched a few months ago. And I believe we may get to it later in this slide, but if you're a team lead, you can log into the app. You have actually 2 separate reports. You have a team report and a lead reporting report. So for team leads, you have a separate team reporting thing, and that team report is only accessible for team leads. Team members don't see that.
Okay, perfect. All right, so a lot of great new kind of features for that. Now let's dive into kind of how agents can now respond maybe more intelligently and efficiently to leads. First of all, I will start with, we all know how important it is to respond to your online leads immediately. This app helps you do that. So as soon as you get a lead online, whether it's from your zip code advertising or from your own listing, the app is going to send you an alert instantaneous that pops up on the home screen of your phone. When you click on this alert that you see here on your screen, it will then pull up your response toolbar. The great thing about this is you can click one button now to call, reply, text that lead, or forward it to another agent in your office, for example. We already have their phone number, we have their email, and so all you have to do is click this one button. And one quick thing to note is when, let's say you use this response toolbar to text them, it's going to create that text thread within your phone's text home page. And then when you click to email, it'll email your clients from your preferred email provider on your phone. So it's making it easy for you to respond immediately to leads, however is most convenient for you and which kind of where you're at in that moment of the day. Now, of course, you want to respond quickly, but then how do you respond and all the information you need to kind of make a productive conversation? Arman, can you go into what information you've created within this app to share with agents?
Yes, I think the most important initial piece of information is the property information. So you can see here on the right, right from within the app, you can get all the information about the property, the sale, the MLS ID. We even show the listing agent if you want to call the listing agent and ask questions. Everything is there accessible just for you. There's neighborhood information, school information. And really at the end of the day, our goal is to make our agents intelligent in their responses to their clients. Like we know that these clients are using Zillow, Trulia, all these other tools to get this information as well. But our goal is to give you that access to information and give you even more information than they have. So I'll get into a little bit of that. On the left, you have the contact profile summary. So here you'll actually see if, like in this case, John Morgan, we give you access to John Morgan. We go and pull information from John Morgan based on the email address that he provided from Facebook, from Twitter, from LinkedIn. You can see his face. You can see his job title. You can see all these things right from within the app. And this is information you won't get anywhere else. And we pay for this, and we give it to you for free. So we have partnerships with vendors that give this information. It's public information, and we're able to aggregate that for you for free. Within here, we also see if they were pre-approved for a loan, if they're working with an agent. A lot of these questions are questions that John Morgan was asked on Zillow and Trulia after they submitted the lead. So they submit the lead, we pop them a form that says, hey, thanks for submitting a lead. You know, are you already pre-approved? What's your time frame? Do you have a lender? Do you have an agent? And we provide that information right to you within the app as well. And then, go ahead, Alexa.
I know there's one, I was going to say there's one particular section of this app that I'm excited for that I think helps agents have really productive conversations. And I think that's this third screen. So Arman, can you share a little bit more here?
Yeah, so this is another piece of information that really you can't really find anywhere else. We don't provide this downstream to any of our Tech Connect partners. This is something that's very proprietary and very private within Zillow Group. So when consumers, home buyers, and home sellers are searching on Zillow and Trulia, we think it's important for you to know what their search behavior is. What are the locations they're looking for? What's the price ranges? Because it's one thing when a client tells you something, it's another when you actually see what they're doing, right? Because a lot of clients may not know even what they want, but you can really tell from their search behavior what they're doing. So here again, we have the profile summary. We have the same questions that we had before. The home buyer pre-approved has no, that same information's here. And we're doing a lot of work. You can't see it here, but underneath the search history on the left, you see those photos. Those are homes that consumer has saved. So if the consumer favorites certain homes, we actually show that to you as well. So you have this rich information. And only agents that receive leads from that consumer get that information. So it's only specific to leads that you get.
Awesome. And so these are really great ways for agents to individually kind of interact with the app and interact with their leads. I know some agents on the call are taking part of our concierge program, which helps with kind of the initial response and connecting agents with their own leads. Can you briefly, Arman, give a little context as to what concierge is, and then let us know kind of the new features for the app and concierge, how they work together?
Yeah, concierge is something that we're extremely excited about. We launched it probably in beta about a year ago, and it's just been growing like crazy for us. We have thousands of agents on this program. And what concierge does, it basically acts as like a first line of defense for you. So we know a lot of times you're busy, a lot of times you're working hard during the day, and you just want someone to be able to kind of review these leads for you and ask some basic questions to see what these leads are, and if they're good, try and connect them with you. So what concierge does is step one, if the home buyer selects you and clicks contact agent, concierge basically gets alerted to that lead. We don't normally, what we'll do for the vast majority of our concierge agents, we actually suppress any notifications that go to you because we want concierge to respond to the client. Concierge calls back the client, verify they're an active buyer, that it's not spam, they're not a renter, and if all goes well, they'll ask them if they want to be connected to you, the agent, and then concierge does a warm transfer to you, conference transfer to you via the phone, and then concierge will live transfer that buyer to you. So we've had a lot of great feedback on this program, a lot of exciting kind of use of this program. A lot of agents really love it. Some agents, the one thing that they've asked for is the ability to kind of be that arbiter, be that first line of defense before that lead gets into actual concierge, and we're working on features in the near future to kind of give the agent a little bit more control over which leads go to concierge and which ones they can. I can't talk too much about that, but you can expect some more control in the near future. What we do have today, though, is these 3 really great capabilities that we've added in the last month or so. So the first is broadcast leads. So for those that are on Teams, what we now have, we have this capability where you can have concierge, when they actually get that warm transfer, they can broadcast that call to everyone on the team. So what does that mean? That means that the concierge rep will push a button, and that button will call, let's say you have 5 people on your team, it'll call all 5 agents on the team simultaneously, and the first agent that picks up and accepts that call will be connected to that lead. So we've seen, based on our data, that the response rates and the actual pickup rates have grown tremendously if you do with the difference between having 1 agent versus 5 agents. So we're really excited about that feature. So that's already live right now. We also know that sometimes concierge will be actively working a lead, and sometimes they'll be able to connect with the buyer. Sometimes it'll take a day or 2 days or 3 days because the buyer is not picking up or is not available. So within the app, you can actually hit remove, and you can remove the contact from concierge and follow up yourself. So let's say you want to reach out yourself, you don't want concierge to do it, we let you remove it. And the reason why we want you to actually remove it is because we don't want the home buyer or the home seller to get calls from both the concierge reps and you. It's a bad experience for them. So we want to really make sure it's either them or you. In addition, we also now give you the ability as a team lead to reassign leads even if they're in the concierge program. So in the past, we didn't have the technical capability of swapping out the agents that were assigned that lead in the concierge system. We built that out in the last couple months. So now as a team lead, you can actually reassign even if it's in the middle of being in concierge, and then the concierge system automatically gets updated with that information so they reach out to the right agent on your team.
Awesome. Yeah, the whole goal of this app, I think, with Arman and his team is to help you interact better with leads and then also interact with us via the concierge program, making sure this program is efficient and working as best as possible.
Yeah, I think for us, what's exciting for us is that I have a counterpart, a peer of mine who leads the product development for the concierge software out in Irvine. So we're all working very closely. We're all in one family in the product development team. We all report into the kind of same VP here. And the beauty of it is, like, we have a custom solution piece of software that's going to be more and more tightly integrated with the Premier Agent app, something that no other tool or anything else within this industry, or I don't know if any other industry, has that kind of tight integration. So you're going to see a lot of these really great capabilities between the 2 platforms and between Concierge and the Premier Agent app in the future.
Awesome. Okay. Well then, now aside from, of course, helping you respond better to leads, there's also a lot of capabilities built into this app that help you all with, managing your entire Zillow account. We know that your office is not an actual office, right? It's typically your car when you're pulled over on the side of the road taking a phone call, or your local coffee shop. So within the app, first of all, just a quick overview, you can manage your entire profile and listings. Now, one thing I coach every agent I work with on is, the importance of getting client reviews and keeping your past sales up to date. These 2 basic things you can update in the app anywhere, anytime. So there's no excuse anymore of not getting reviews or not keeping your profile up to date. Then also within the app, you're able to manage your listings by adding video walkthrough, monitoring the performance. So Arman, I'd love to hear a little bit more about those 2 features, kind of the benefits to managing their listings within the app.
Yes, I think, I don't know, Alexa, if you want to go back one screen, I can walk through those features that you had listed up there. But as Alexa was mentioning, really letting you, when you're in the app, you see this, there's a little, what we call a hamburger menu, as you see in many apps, in the top left of the app. And you click that and you open it, you have access to all these other features. In this example for Suzanne Peterson, she's a team lead because I can see there's like a team option. There's her profile, so she can manage her profile, manage her listings, search homes. So within the profile, as Alexa was saying, you can request reviews, you can edit profiles, see how they look, see how your profile looks. Within the listings, you can see your listings. There's some additional features that we just added that we'll get to in this upcoming slide as well. And then we also added this capability to search all homes. So within the app, you can actually go in, search homes, and pull up a property that's not even in the market, so it might be just a public record, and add a video walkthrough and do other things to it. So we can now go, Alexa, to maybe the next slide.
Okay. Perfect.
Thank you. And that kind of leads me to this. So video walkthroughs is, one of the features that we love the most. It's, thousands and thousands of agents have already utilized this. It's a really great free feature. All you do is you take the app, you go into your listing, you create a video, and that listing gets ranked highest in the search results for consumers for free. So it's our way of saying thank you for using this feature, because we know at the end of the day it also helps our home buyers and home sellers. So it's a win-win for you as an agent. It pulls your listing to the top of the rankings, so it's the first thing consumers see. And then it's also good for our home buyers and home sellers because they have more information about their lead or about their property, and they feel a little bit better about the home that they've listed with you. I mentioned in the previous slide that there is this kind of search all homes view. So that was our way of letting you as a listing agent find a property that's a public record property that is not yet on the MLS. And while you're in that process of staging it and getting photos, you can also create the video, add the video to that public record right from within the app. And then as soon as that public record turns into a for sale property in the MLS, the video will get published once you approve it. So as the listing agent, you still have ultimate approval capability on what shows, and the listing agent's the only one that will be able to approve it at that point when it's listed on the MLS.
Awesome. One quick question here. Now, is this available just for Premier agents, or is it for any agent whether they advertise or not?
It's available for any agent. So this is another feature that is available for free to anyone. So you don't have to be a Premier agent to use this feature. Consumers and videographers actually can use the Zillow app as well to create these videos, and then those also will show up as you'll get an email to approve it as the listing agent. So as long as we have the right email for you as a listing agent, which almost always we do, you can be you don't have to be a paid agent to get these features.
Awesome. And this is only for a listing agent. If you're simply showing homes to your own buyer contacts, you're not able to post this video. This is only going to be for direct listing agents.
Correct. Yes. Anyone can create the video, but the listing agent is the one that would approve it. Yes.
Awesome. Great point to make there. And kind of as a listing agent, I know that they have some kind of further metrics they can look at. So can you dive into this for us?
Yes, so within each listing, and I think you can't see it as well here, I think the mock is a little bit white. Anyway, when you're in the app, you can go to the listing section. Once you go into the listing section, you click on a specific listing. So on the left, if you were to click on this 120 Green Street, you'd actually go to a view that has two tabs at the top. The tab on one of the tabs will be the actual public view of the property, so what everyone else sees, and the other one is kind of going to be the analytics listing performance view that you can see within the app. So it'll tell you how many views you've gotten in the last 7, I believe, and 30 days, how many saves, how many people have saved the property, what are the comparables in the industry, in the area, where does your listing rank in online views compared to similar listings. It gives you, and it reminds you of quick ways to help with your listing. For example, adding a video is one of the key calls to action within that screen, so you can actually go and add a video and increase your rankings. So this is also great to show to your clients if they're curious about viewing this information. And the clients themselves, if they claim the home on Zillow, on Zillow.com, they can actually go into the Zillow app and see the same information as well. So it's really just providing that transparency so the client sees how their property is doing and you see how your property is doing as well. So it's important to know that as the listing agent, you should be viewing this just as much as your clients, because inherently they're going to be, if they've claimed the property, they'll have questions about it as well, and that way you can answer it.
Yeah, and I will encourage you all, use these tools as, extra incentives to win listing appointments and to win listings. Adding a video walkthrough on Zillow and Trulia, the biggest real estate websites, that's a great, huge feature that can definitely impress your sellers. So not only utilize these tools, but then use those to kind of garner more listings in the future as well. Now, I know a lot of you may already know about the Resource Center. If you attend any webinars like the one today, any webinar we publish is a part of our Resource Center, which is built and designed as it's very well named. It's a center of resources for all of you, for agents. And here we have things like our webinars, any free webinar that we host weekly, monthly, etc. But you can also get downloads. So we have listing flyers, text scripts, actually coaching programs for Premier Agent, for other various tools. This Resource Center is available within the app, and it's 24/7, so make sure you can access this. It's called Resource Center, and through here you can also see some of our upcoming agent events. Our goal here is to produce, of course, excellent technology features for you, but then give you resources for your business as well. All right, so then let's dive into the team features here. Now, we know not all of you on the phone are on a team, so bear with us for just a moment. But there are a lot of teams, and we've seen this trend of individual agents joining teams and teams that are growing from 2 agents to 10 to more. So, of course, Arman and his team, they have made a huge effort in making sure this is applicable and resourceful for all of you. So Arman, go ahead and introduce a little bit about our team profile and then the features within the app that support this and help teams work well together.
Thanks, Alexa. Yeah, I think one thing I'll say first, though, is even if you're not on a team, think about maybe joining one or forming one. What we're seeing is that, especially with the help of technology, these teams that have multiple agents, they're able to kind of respond more quickly. They're able to kind of meet the needs of their clients using this technology that we're providing. So we're getting a lot of great feedback from these teams. And so this will be a kind of an initial review of the kind of features that we've launched, and we have a lot more in the pipeline that we're working on as well. So the first thing you want to do is create your team profile. So team profiles basically just allow on Zillow and Trulia a connection between you as the team leader and the people that are team members. So the way it works is you basically, as a team lead, you can send invitations to your individual team members. Once those team members accept those invitations, it sends them an email. Once they accept the invitation, then they're connected and they show up on your profile. The reviews get funneled up. I believe they're based on when they join the team. And so those reviews that are, I believe, after that time when they've joined the team get funneled up into the top team leader, but the individual team members still maintain their own reviews as well.
Awesome. And once you've set up this team profile, first of all, one quick note, this is free for everybody, whether or not you're advertising. Once you've set up this team profile, one of the other great features is now as a team lead, you can easily manage your incoming leads and kind of route them to where they're going to the right agents at the right time on your team. So what are different options agents have as far as routing rules for their advertising?
So this is going to be a screen that's only going to be viewed by the team lead. So we know who the team leads are, obviously, and we know who the team members are and who are people that are not on team. So if we know that you're a team lead based on the profile that you've set up, when you log into the desktop Premier Agent inbox, you have this new link in the top right that says Team. Within Team, there's a few things you can do. One of them was the report that we showed you earlier, but another thing you can do is kind of this like routing concept. So within here as a team lead, you can say, hey, based on specific attributes, I can send leads to different people on the team. So the first rule, you can basically say, hey, for every lead that's in like 94109 zip code, send it to, Kathy. Or if it's more than 500,000, send it to Timothy. If it's in this location, send it to Olivia. You can set up all these rules, and it's smart enough to make sure that any leads that don't fall into a rule that you set up will get sent right back to the team lead, so we don't lose any leads. So it'll basically make sure that there's always someone that the lead gets assigned to. So that's basically this is primarily for email leads, and email leads are leads where the home buyer or the home seller has actually created a contact submitted a contact form. So they said, hey, I'm interested in 123, and they hit submit on Zillow and Trulia. And then Alexa, I don't know if we have a slide on the phone routing, or if you want me to just speak to that one.
Oh, we do. That's coming up next.
Oh, perfect. See, I like it when there's a slide that I already expect. Thanks, Alexa. Okay, so in this case, this is for phone leads. So like I mentioned earlier, we have email leads, which is the forms that the consumers, the home buyers and home sellers will submit. Phone leads is when the home buyer basically tries to call the phone number that shows up next to your profile or next to the contact form on Zillow and Trulia near the property or on your in the agent directory. Those are actually phone calls that come through our system, right? Because those are phone numbers that we track, and the reason why we track them is so we can do awesome features like this. So when those phones come in, as the team lead, you can set up a rule that says, hey, I want you to call all my team members whenever a phone call comes in for a new lead. And so all the team members will get a phone call, and the first one that picks it up will say, they'll listen to a prompt that says, hey, you have a new lead from 123 Main Street, and press 1 to accept. And when that person hits accept, they get that lead, and then the other people that pick up the phone will get a message saying that it was already accepted. So this is kind of similar to what I mentioned earlier with respect to what we're doing for the concierge team, but this is a way to do it specifically just for phone leads that you don't have going through concierge. And this
now,
go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Arman. I was just going to mention that I know teams can be changing, often. And so once you set up these rules, is it hard to change, or can you kind of keep updating this based on the merits of your team and kind of what you want rules to be following?
Yes, you can, change these daily if you like. You can basically go in there and say, hey, today I think, or this week maybe you go in every Sunday night and you change it and say, hey, this week, Jennifer is not getting, has more bandwidth than Helen, so I want to adjust it. You can adjust it by percentage so that more leads go to Jennifer than go to Helen. So really giving you full control of some of these features. Now, this specific feature is really for our team leads that are paying Premier Agent advertisers. And the reason why is because it costs us money to offer these custom phone numbers that show up on Zillow and Trulia. So we only offer those custom phone numbers, which we can then use to route these leads only to our paying advertisers that are team leads.
Yeah, great distinction. Setting up the team profile is free for everybody, but like Arman was saying, this specific broadcast feature and routing is just for advertising agents.
Now, one thing I'll say is, like on the earlier screen where it had the email routing leads, that's available for everyone. And not only that, we actually respect the third-party leads that come through it. So one of the biggest, the best comments we get from our agents that set up their Realtor.com or Homes.com or these other leads that I was mentioning earlier in the broadcast is that they can utilize our advanced routing rules for those leads as well. So you can actually route those leads to your team members, even if they're coming from Realtor and Homes or Zillow and Trulia, right to the right team leader based on the zip code and price and all the other attributes that you can use today. And that's for free.
Awesome. That's a great feature. Now, for a team lead and, when you set up these routing rules, do they have capabilities to view what the leads are doing, what their team is doing? I know there's some transparency, some features, so can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, so this is what I was referring to earlier, where as a team lead, you have a separate report that you can use for your team members. And this is only viewable by the team lead. So you can go into it from the mobile app or from the desktop under that the same team link. And within here, you can see a snapshot for the last 7 days or the last 30 days that shows kind of the incoming leads that are coming in on each day, the property prices, the statuses. If you encourage your teams to actually update the status of the contacts, you can actually see them here. So how many are new, how many are set as hot, warm. And then within each team member, you can say, you can see the most recent lead they got, how many they got, and this concept of needing follow-up. So there are a lot of times when you assign a lead to a team member, what we do is we actually flag it as for follow-up because we know it came from the team leader. So the team member in their inbox, they'll see a lead that has a little flag next to it, and as long as they follow up, they reply, or they go in and actually mark it as follow-up completed, you'll see it here updated as well. And additionally, we have the property price and then the GCI as well, which is standard. I believe it's calculated at 3.5%.
Awesome. So a lot of transparency for agents. So everybody, that really gets to kind of takes us to the end of our presentation for the day. I know there's been a lot of questions that have come in, so we are definitely going to leave some time for some questions. We'll try and address them. If we don't get to your question today because we are running a little late on time, don't worry, I will follow up with an email afterward and address them directly to you. A couple other things to know is there is a handout that I've attached to this webinar that goes over a lot of the things that we discussed today. So feel free to download that PDF handout. And then, just a reminder, we have recorded the webinar today, and we will be sending this out to everybody afterward automatically. So we'll send it to you in an email. You can access it any time. And one last thing, you can contact us directly at premieragentacademy@zillow.com with questions. This comes to me and a couple other people, so we'll make sure to address your questions right away. But Arman, if you still have a few minutes, let's go ahead and take some questions. Let's see. One question we had was, let's see, if the team, so the team lead, for example, is a premier agent. Now, for their individual team members, in order for them to kind of be on that broadcast, that phone broadcast or those routing rules, they do not have to be premier agents or advertising agents. The team lead needs to be the premier agent, the advertising agent, and then they can access those different broadcast and broadcast rules. So one difference, just the team lead needs to be kind of advertising for that.
Yeah, that's correct. So what we do is, as long as the team lead is an advertiser, we go for every team member that's on that team lead and automatically give them one of those special phone numbers so that the broadcast will work for them as well.
Awesome. One question about, is there a tutorial on using the app's features? Paul, I'd say this is part of that tutorial, and again, there is a handout on the webinar panel on the right that you can download that goes through things as well. And most likely, we'll try and run this webinar again in the future so we can help you all keep using the great new features and keep you up to date with new features as well.
Alexa, there was actually a great PDF doc that one of the internal teams here created I think it was in December. So I can forward that to you and maybe we can post that as well. And it was a handout for an overview of the Premier Agent app features.
Oh, awesome. That may be the one we have on the webinar, but we'll take a look and make sure you all have as many resources as possible. All right, so let's see. One other question we have. Now, for the kind of lead sources, and when you can connect to your lead sources and have them sent to your Premier Agent app, does it go the other way? Do your Premier Agent contacts also are sent to your other lead sources? Can you talk about that a little bit, Arman?
So if you want your, I think the question is if you want your Zillow and Trulia leads to go to other sources or to other downstream sources, is that right, Alexa?
Correct.
Yeah, we have a Tech Connect program that you can get to from Zillow.com, and you can actually set it up. I think we support 60 or 70 different downstream systems, CRMs, where you can actually set it up so the leads for Zillow and Trulia will automatically go downstream to those different solutions. We don't send some of the rich information around search behavior and other proprietary Zillow information to those downstream systems, but the basic contact information does go down there.
Okay, thank you. Well, everybody, I think we're running a little bit late on time, so we definitely did have some questions that we weren't able to address. Know that I will, of course, follow up with you directly about that. We want to thank you all so much for your time today, and Arman, anything else you want to add here?
No, I mean, thank you so much for taking the time. Know that you have teams dedicated at Zillow that just focus on free tools for you guys to make you successful. You know, we're lucky to be in an organization. I used to be at Trulia, and when Zillow acquired Trulia, they really took our team here that was focused on Trulia agent tools and really made us gave us the ability and the opportunity to build great tools for all of our agents across Zillow and Trulia. And so it's a big part of our culture to make sure you guys are successful, because ultimately the more successful you are, the more you're able to buy additional advertising from us and become more and more successful. So we understand that whatever we can do to help you is going to help both of us in the long term, and that's our goal.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Arman, so much for your time today. It was great to hear a lot of your information that you can share. Thank you to everybody. We appreciate your time. We'll follow up with questions, and again, you'll be getting the recording in about an hour or two, so look for that. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day, everybody.
Thanks, Alexa.